welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas. And right there is Suri, my little co-host for the time being. Hello and welcome, and I hope you are having a great day, great start to your day. Yeah, because this is probably going up Saturday, most likely. Yeah, so happy weekend, everyone. Hope you're having a great day, just like I said. And we're going to dive into the podcast. Bear with me as I get used to podcasting by myself here for a second. I have to say it's a little bit weird. I mean, I started off by myself for the longest time. So just give me a minute to get back in the flow. So grab your beverage of choice. This morning I'm trying a new drink I saw on Instagram. It's actually pretty good. If you want to see, I don't know if it's going to be backwards. Yeah, it's going to be backwards. Maybe not actually. Anyway, it's a shaken espresso with, I fix my espresso. I do a triple shot of espresso because I'm trying not to do as much caffeine. Whole milk, 2 pumps toasted vanilla syrup, which is really, really good, by the way, if you haven't had that. No classic syrup, and put vanilla sweet cream cold foam on top, in case you want a fancy pants fall drink that's not pumpkin, because I'll have like the pumpkin cream cold brew is about the only Starbucks pumpkin drink that I'll do. I don't like the traditional pumpkin spice lattes, or you can, and I can't stand anything apple flavored. Y'all should have seen me Saturday in the shop for Rhinebeck weekend. We did a little festival here in the shop. You know, fear of missing out, FOMO. Didn't realize I needed to explain that. But yes, fear of missing out, FOMO is fear of missing out. We had a Rhinebeck FOMO weekend, and so I had gone to Trader Joe's and gotten some fun apple cider donuts and just all the fun upstate New York fall New England type foods, and one of which was apple cider caramels that they had at Trader Joe's. Y'all, they were disgusting. I hated them. Some of the people in the shop thought I was hysterical and tried them, and they were like, it's not bad. It's an apple flavored caramel. I just thought it was straight up nasty. So, but again, I don't like apple. I really don't like fruit flavored things, if I'm really going to be honest. I like fruit, like the fruit. I don't like it when you try to make fruit flavored things. The exception of orange flavored things I adore. Don't know why. And most lemon flavored things. But they taste real. Most of the time. Anyway, this is not a food podcast. This is a knitting and yarn shop podcast. So let's get started with what I'm wearing. This is not a new finished object at all. This is just one that's coming out of hibernation, although I'm going to say I am extremely warm in this. It is cool outside, but it is starting to warm up already, and this is a mohair DK sweater. So this is the Snowy Forest. This was in one of the issues of Laine magazine. I believe the designer is Midori Hirose, but we can double check that. Again, the pattern is Snowy Forest. I'm pretty sure it's now available as a separate download, and you don't have to buy it through the magazine, but we might still have 1 or 2 of those issues still available. But anyway, this is a really fun cabled sweater. It is shown in 2 lengths, the cropped, which is what I did, and then more of a full length or tunic length style. And I did mine in a strand of Kelborn Woolen Scout and a strand of Biche and Bouche mohair. I'm going to say I'm probably going to have to cut and do a quick change here in a hot second because I am actually getting quite warm. but we'll power through. So again, Snowy Forest by Midori Hirose. And I just realized I have 3 of my 4 light bulbs out. That's going to be a problem. Okay, so finished objects. We're going to hit pause for a quick second and jump back in. Okay, much better. No, this is not a hand knit sweater. Y'all, I don't wear hand knits all the time simply because it's Texas. It was 41 degrees this morning. It will be 89 this afternoon. We dress in layers because we don't know what the weather's going to be from 5 minutes from now. If you think my stuff is cute, I most likely got it on Amazon, or in this case, this was either Vici Dolls online or the little local boutique here, which has an online store, Shop Worthy Grace. So, this is also, it's kind of a clothing podcast because we talk about hand knits, but I'm not that kind of an influencer yet. Who knows? Maybe I'll be one day. Might help if I post, like outfits of the day and stuff like that if I actually want to be an influencer. I don't do that. So, minor detail. Anyway, now I have mohair fluff all up my nose. I don't have any finished objects to show you guys because I got distracted and cast on things. Yeah, I've cast on a whole bunch of stuff, so just bear with me. First up, I'm going to show you this. I did have cast on last podcast. I'm 99.9% positive. And I just dropped my yarn. Yeah, I did. This is my Alpenglow by Andrea Mowry. My body is finished. Whee! And I started my sleeve last night. I am doing a little modification to the sleeve besides dropping all these stitches. I am not doing any decreases. So I am knitting a straight sleeve down to the cuff. And I'm just going to make sure that the colorwork chart for when we repeat this little fluffy bit here, that I have the right number of stitches. I may be doing more repeats than what she calls for. And then when we get to the cuff, I'll just do a rapid decrease down to the amount of stitches she says for the cuff. I don't like an extremely tight sleeve, and Andrea Mowry is kind of known for extremely tight fitting sleeves. I did size up for my sleeve circumference, one size up from what I am actually knitting, so that I would have extra stitches on my sleeve and not have a extreme tight sleeve. I even went up a half size in my needle, and I say half size simply because I had to size down quite a bit to get gauge personally because of how my knitting is. Lately, my knitting has been extremely loose, which is kind of weird. I feel like I've been under some extra stress and tension, and it's getting looser. Normally, it gets tighter when I'm doing that, so I don't know. It's weird. But, so I actually knit the body of this on a 2.5. But, it really wasn't that bad. So I'm doing my sleeve on a 3. And gauge is matching. So you typically do knit a smidge tighter in small circumference knitting, especially when you're doing like 9s or 12s in this case. So just be mindful of that when you're doing sleeves, especially if sleeve tightness is a problem for you. So yeah, I am going to do I'll say fairly full-length sleeves. I still always like to push my sleeve up a little bit, but yeah, I think I'm going to do a fairly full-length sleeve on it. And then all I have to do is the other sleeve, and then pick up and knit the neckband, and this will be done. So by next podcast, that's my goal. Next podcast, this will be finished, and I'll be wearing it for you. All I've done is steamed the body so far. I will be wet blocking this, but I just steamed it out to make sure it was a good length. Yarn that I am using, my main body color is Her Majesty's Navy on Red Stag Highland Sport. And then for my accent color up here, which will be my collar and cuffs, this is Red Stag Highland Sport in antique leather. This little gem I picked up at DFW, but hopefully we will be getting this for our store anniversary next March, which is coming faster than you guys think. This is Moondrake, her Fua Fua base, which is a 70% cashmere, 30% silk, and it's divine. It's amazing. And then my main body, or I guess not main body, my main accent color is Spin Cycle. I did splurge and get the Spin Cycle in the colorway Stay Ready, which is their neutral, which is my #1 favorite color of Spin Cycle. And it is the dyed in the wool, so the sport weight, sport fingering weight Spin Cycle. Okay, I'm just going to put that there since my yarn ran that direction. So I have been working on that. Then, what else? Oh, then I'm going to save this for last because we're going to do a knit along with that puppy. Okay, then you know that or right before DFW or on the way to DFW, whatever we want to call it, I cast on the Quattro Wrap by Joji Locatlli. And the Quattro Wrap is a beautiful shawl. Where's that book? Oh, I thought I had it all organized. Here we go. Quattro Wrap is in the Modern Daily Knitting Field Guide, in the Grace Field Guide, which we now are stockist for. So we have the Brioche and the Grace still available. I think we are very limited on our Grace ones. And then we also have their skill set book. But the Quattro Wrap is that beautiful modular wrap by Joji. And I'm using Moondrake Sport in the colorway Sand. So this is my first piece. So you do it in different pieces and you seam it together, which is going to be super cool construction. So this is the colorway. The white here is Sand, and then Toffee. Love. Then I motored out actually when we were gone over the weekend. Decent chunk. Then I finished my second section. I haven't steamed any of these out yet. This is Toffee with, I believe it's Blue Slate here is my accent color, pretty sure. So that's the next section. So it's going to fit. They're all on like Scooby-Doo waist holder, yarn holders. I'm not going to be able to show this. I don't have enough hands. But, you know, one piece goes this way, one triangle, you know, point, the other one point down, vice versa as you go along. So that's my first two triangles, and then I cast on my second triangle, or I guess my third triangle here. So the main body is the Blue Slate, and the last color here is Grim, and then the last panel will be the Grim colorway as the base with the Sand as the accent. So it kind of sort of fades. The ones I see that I feel have the most cohesive look to them are somewhat of a fade. They don't have to be like the same color family, but like you go from a light medium, then like a light medium to medium, and then a medium to dark, kind of a fade, if you will, in tonality. Like I said, they don't have to be the same color because like I'm using like warm neutrals and then the pops of blues. You can do all sorts of shades of gray. You can do all sorts of different things, but I think if you get that tonality, then you really get it. You can also use a slightly variegated yarn or even a more tonal yarn as well, but I'm really enjoying it because just when you kind of get bored, you finish that panel and you can cast on a new project, which is the new panel. So It's nice. And it's a good travel project too, because it's basically just knits and purls. It's just in what order and what color you're doing. So it's a good, mostly mindless knit. So been enjoying that. Would have gotten more done on all of my knitting, honestly, but I probably would have had that finished had I not gotten horribly sick with the stomach flu. Horribly sick. Just bleh. Yeah. Let's just say there was no knitting involved at all for like almost 48 hours. Nobody wanted to be around me. I didn't want to be around me. So anyway, thoughts and prayers to anyone who gets the stomach flu, because apparently it's kind of been going around in our area and it's nasty. Pretty sure I got mine at H-E-B because that's the only place I had gone. And then like 3 hours later. Ugh. Anyway, don't need to talk about that anymore. Before that, we went to, Josh, my husband, Red Stag Fiber, had a trunk show out in Comfort, Texas, and I tagged along, and we kind of took it as a little weekend getaway, because it was kind of the only time we could do really any sort of a getaway before holiday rush. The perils of retail businesses and holiday season. But on that trip, I cast on the Gold Star sweater by Maxim. And I cast it on, and I honestly haven't gotten very far. This part here, and I don't have much left, but it's a 3-color color work, and it's just slow going for me. And I've kind of had to fix a little bit of my personal tensioning issues. It's not a bad pattern. I really love the pattern. It's great. It's well written. Even though there was a couple times I'm like, are you sure this is gonna work, Max? Are you sure? And then it does, and it's wonderful. But I would just say be mindful that it's more of a slower process to knit because of that 3-color color work. And honestly, it's probably not even as hard for someone who just does single-handed color work. But because I do 2-handed color work and I'm used to being able to go fast with 2-color color work, adding that 3rd color, I don't have a 3rd arm to throw in there, and it's like, it's really thrown my brain for kind of a loop of, wait, you just when you think you're in a rhythm, you're not. So again, it's a me issue, not a pattern issue. But when I have a little more brain space, I do plan on picking this back up. This is all done in Estate Decay by Red Stag Fiber. So this is antique linen. The gold is gilded, and then you can just see we're just starting to bring in this secondary lighter gold, which is Castle Rock, which was actually going to be like the main body of the sweater. So again, the pattern is Gold Star by Maxim, Max the Knitter on Instagram, and it's the Gold Star. I do have my West Knits. I'm not going to show it for spoiler alert things, so we can just pass right on by it. If you've seen spoilers, great. If you haven't, great. Still include one. Totally honest, still include one. But it'll get there eventually. So lastly, I'm going to show y'all my latest cast on, because I cast this on yesterday. And I'm in love. I cast it on, and within 5 minutes I was like, we need a knit along, because this is so fun, and it's one of those quick knitting because it's at a quicker gauge, but it's just a fun knit. So I announced on Instagram, but we are doing a Sunday sweater, Sunday cardigan knit along. So basically I cast on the Sunday cardigan. Petit Knit offers 3 different versions of the Sunday sweater. The cardigan, the original pullover. So both the cardigan and pullover are knit to a bulky gauge. And then she has what she calls the Sunday cardigan mohair edition, where she just holds mohair double and knits it at a DK weight gauge. So you basically have 3 different options. You can do the traditional Sunday pullover or cardigan in the bulky weight option, or you can mix and match your different yarns to get a bulky weight gauge, or you can mix and match different yarns or just use a DK and do the DK weight gauge. Just because it says mohair edition does not mean you have to do it in 2 strands of mohair. You could do that in straight DK. You can do it in a DK weight, plant-based yarn. You can do it in a fingering in a mohair. You can do it in 2 mohairs or 3 mohairs, or a mohair and a suri, or 2 fingering weights. Or if you want to do something weird but fun, do 2 to 3 strands of lace weight yarn. I mean, you could really do all sorts of things. Just the thing is that you get the gauge of the pattern that you're doing. So either a DK gauge for the DK weight pullover, or bulky weight gauge for the cardigan or the original pullover. So the yarn I am using, it's one when we first got this yarn in like years ago, I knew I wanted to knit the Sunday cardigan out of it. This is Techno by Blue Sky Fibers, and it is the most yummy, delicious. If you've ever worked with Woolfolk Luft, it's very similar in that it's a blown yarn with a cotton core, and it is just so fluffy and soft. Super, super fun. So we have this. You don't need to add anything to it to get the bulky weight gauge. So you don't need to strand mohair with it or anything. What she originally used for the cardigan was a worsted weight with 2 strands of mohair. You could easily do that, or DK with 2 strands of mohair, or you can just use the Techno. So the colorway that I'm using is it cloud gray? I didn't bring, I think it's cloud gray. This is Metro Silver. This is Club Gray, which is darker. So I have the 3 different colors. I left my tag. I didn't bring my tag. Then this is Fame. This is basically like off-white. This is Rogue, nice brown, dark brown. This is Fringe, the lighter driftwood brown. And then Mellow Yellow. So any of those you could use totally on their own. You could, like she originally said, you can use worsted weight with a mohair. I pulled some stuff to show you guys. While I'm pulling this, I want to tell you we are doing, like I said, a knit along, both a virtual and in-person knit along. So what I'm doing, first time we're going to do kind of a, not first time, a virtual knit along. So I have a Facebook group that you can be added to. You do have to let me know that you want to be added. So send us a Facebook message or an Instagram message or an email. And we either need your email address to send you the invite to the Facebook group, or we need you to have already liked our Facebook page, and then we can send, and you send your Facebook name as it is on Facebook, and we can send you the invite to the group. If you have not liked our Facebook page, it won't let us send you an invite. Spam laws. Weird. I know, but so you do have to like our Facebook page in order to receive the invite, unless you do it via email. The only rule is that you don't join the group if you're not participating, really. You can use stash yarn. I would like it if you buy yarn from me, but obviously some of you guys have already bought yarn for this project and are just looking for an excuse to cast it on. Come on in and join us. It's going to be super fun. I plan on posting a lot of different yarn ideas in the group, which I already have posted some. We're going to be casting on officially. You can technically cast on before. I don't really care if you have your yarn early and you just can't wait. October 27th. And it'll go through the end of the year. This is, like I said, a real quick knit. So even if you're a slower knitter, you're going to be able to get it done in time. It's knit on like 9s and 10s. So super quick. And then in the group, I'm also going to be posting like little tutorials. So this is also a good idea for a first sweater. There's no raglan shaping really. I say that, I haven't read that far in the pattern. In the beginning, there's not. There may be some, like she does in the anchor's tee at the very end. But like going over the make one purl and make one knit, just a little tutorial if it's unfamiliar to you. Make one purl is not as common as a make one knit, so I'll show you kind of the difference there. I'll be showing you how to like put stitches on hold for the arms and different things like that. So just some little tutorials as we go along, and then I encourage you guys to be super social and chat with each other on there and really encourage each other and just have a lot of fun. I'm hoping to make this more of a regular occurrence, having one or more knit alongs or crochet alongs always going. So yeah, I hope you, excuse me, join in on this one. So some yarn options, like I said, worsted weight with mohair. This combo, somebody please do it. This is so perfect. This is Malabrigo Rios in Pines paired with Silk Cloud in Cove. I mean, it's perfection. Love it. You could do the same thing with Kelborn Woolen Scout and just hold Shibui Silk Cloud Double. This is Cedar paired with Heather Moss or Moss Heather. Again, perfect. And this is a great way if you want to splurge on some Shibui mohair, but keep it a little more budget friendly. Use something like Scout or Germantown as your main yarn and then splurge on your mohair. Or do the opposite, splurge on like some Estate DK or a hand-dyed yarn and pair it with Tin Silk mohair or Biche and Bouche mohair. Makes it a little more budget friendly. Some other ideas was, again, these are all to get to the bulky weight. Double strand some mohair with some Tweety. Have a customer who already had some Tweety and she's going to pair it with like a pink mohair. That would be super fun. You could honestly pull any color out and pair a mohair with it and it'd be gorgeous. If you have the dark, I think like a dark and moody. So like with the Surrey, you'd only need one strand. That would be really, really fun. This is the Tweety Noir with dark cherry. But it would look equally good with this pink too. This is Lotus, by the way. Also look good with Majesty. I don't think I have enough, but it would look really good with a purple. You could use Germantown. So again, pair any mohair with these would be lovely. This would be great with pollen. This is Honey. This is Navy, and this is Rhododendron. These are some classic fall moody colors that are just lovely. If you're in a warmer climate, you could do the DK version in a single strand of Dapple, or you could do the bulky weight cardigan in Dapple double held double, so double strand Dapple. That'd be really fun. Either do the same colors or get two different shades and hold it double for a marled effect. You could do the same thing with Laine. You could do the mohair version in just a single strand of Laine for a little more open weight, or you could hold it double for the cardigan or original. Again, you could hold the same color double, or you could pair two different colors for a marled effect. Just realized I didn't say that. This is the colorway Periwinkle in the Dapple. And then this is Terracotta and Olive Green in the Laine. So there's lots of options for you guys, even if you're in warmer climates, like if you're Florida, Texas, if you're in Hawaii, any of the southern states, or you're just looking for something that you can wear a little more regularly, or maybe you don't like mohair or anything super fuzzy. So that would be just another great option for you. I cannot wait. It's going to be so warm. It's going to be so good. This is a little fold over collar. So we're going to show you later how to sew that over if you've never done that. So yeah, it's going to be super fun. I hope you join us in the knit along. Like I said, send us a email, postcard, pigeon. I don't have a place to receive homing pigeons, but I don't know, maybe it'll get to us. And we will get you added to the Facebook group. And then if you are local, come in on the 27th of October and join us for a little cast on party. And I'll probably go live in the Facebook group as well to chat with you guys. So definitely be, probably go live. I gotta figure out timing. I'll post it in there in the group when I'm going to go live. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of DK weight yarn, we got a restock of Estate DK from Red Stag Fiber. And I want to show you guys because you could pair any of these. You could either just hold them straight double for a really nice cozy sweater if you're going to do the Sunday sweater, or you could of course hold them by itself with a couple strands of mohair or use it for another DK weight project. So some of the colors we got restocked in were Water Avens. This is a really pretty, it shows up a little more red on screen, but it is a almost like, I call it like a geranium pink. So it's a pink, but it's not bubblegummy pink at all. It's not a blue based pink, but it's not like coral either. It's on the verge. It's really, really pretty. So Water Avens is restocked. Her Majesty's Navy, again, perfect dark navy blue color, restocked. Welsh Slate restocked. This one's always popular, especially for men's sweaters. Castle Rock restocked along with Antique Linen. And when I say restocked, we have sweater quantities of all of these. Birch, always a favorite. Let me show you the difference between birch and antique leather so you can really see it on camera. Antique leather has a cool tone, more of a gray, and the birch has a much more warmer sandy undertone, beige undertone. Then we restocked Isle of Harris, another popular one. Castle Rock, that nice medium gray. French waistcoat, a very popular color for us in the store. We restocked Hollyberry. We had this on DK a while back, but it's been a while. This is a really good Christmassy red. And of course, everyone's favorite antique leather. And last but not least, Passport. And I say last, but that's of the restocks. And we got some new to us colors. First off, Highland Coup from his new winter collection. I want to just show this. This is like the speckled cousin of antique leather. I love it. It's a little bit darker, and then you have these beautiful specklings of like pecan and espresso. It's so much like deeper and rich. Oh, cannot wait to knit something with this. So Highland Coup versus antique leather. This is Robin. We haven't had variegateds on his DK in a little while, so that's fun. Robin is beautiful, fall foliage inspired. I can't remember. I don't think we've ever had this on the DK. This is Mar. So if you love Her Majesty's Navy, but it's too dark to knit with, this is its little bit brighter friend. This is Mar. Love this. This looks so good. And then last but not least, Fargay, one of his new colors. And so this is definitely in the blue family. Now it shows up gray now, but now it's blue. This is it next. Yeah, now it really looks blue. So this is cobblestone. You can see it's definitely like a coneflower blue, but when you pair it with other blues, it takes on a bit of a gray hue, which is kind of interesting. Similar to forged steel, but a bit bluer. So forged steel, this, and then kind of transition into, I could kind of transition into French waistcoat, and then Mar. We could do a fun fade. So those are the restocks. Those are live on the website. Of course, we have our, I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. We have our feature capsule collection for the month, which is Malabrigo Rios, Tweety, which surprisingly we still have a little bit of stock left. We probably have like 3 sweaters quantities. Oops. I'm getting low power notifications. 3 sweaters quantities of Tweety in noir. Well, like 1 in noir and like 3 in regular Tweety. So that is available online. The Malabrigo Rios restocked in all sorts of different colors, so definitely take a look if you haven't. And the Chelsea Luxe, the the Cozy Decay, the Shelter colors. The Shelter colors are going fast, so if you know you want some, grab some, because like they said, it'll be next year before we even get a restock, so who knows. What else? Oh, we got in, and we have a couple left. These are on the website, the Ready Set Socks. So for all of our sock knitters, these are a great book for sure to add to your repertoire. There are 10 different patterns in both fingering and DK. And just a really good thing if you are new to socks or if you are ready to experiment with sock knitting. So definitely a great book to add. I also recommend the other pom-pom book. I didn't bring it over here, but we have Ready Set Raglan. It's a great book if you want to dive into sweaters and really kind of get a feel for their construction and maybe even playing around with modifying your own patterns. They have a whole section in that of modifying patterns or even kind of creating your own pattern to fit your body type. So it's a great resource to have, not just, well, I already know how to knit a sweater. Yes, but there's more than just that in there. So definitely recommend that. What else do I have here? I think that's about it. We have our fall calendar on the website. We have some classes coming up. Beginner knitting, beginner crochet, weaving Christmas ornaments is also coming up. So get signed up for those if you're interested. Share the beginning knitting or beginning crochet with your friends that are interested. And yeah, we've got all sorts of fun stuff on the website, so definitely check it out. Join us for the Sunday knit along. And maybe comment what knit along you'd like to see. I am anticipating starting one potentially in December, for sure January. So if there's a specific pattern y'all would love to see as a knit along, let me know. Because I'm going to start taking kind of ideas to see what you guys are interested in. Are you interested in shawls? Are you interested in garments as knit alongs? What are we looking at? And we'll go from there. So thanks so much for tuning in. It is a bit shorter today, partly because I have low battery and partly because I don't have any finished objects to share. So stay tuned. Hopefully next week we have quite a bit for next week. Ooh. Next time I podcast. I don't think I can do one next week. Anywho, next podcast we'll have more content for you. So have a great rest of your day. Happy knitting, crocheting, and crafting. And we'll hopefully see you in store soon. And if not, we'll see you online. Bye, guys.